Welcome back to our weekly drug awareness program here. Today we're going to speak on the topic of prescription drugs. Officer Raven, when we talk about prescription drugs, can you define prescription drugs for us?
Here at the high school, we have different types of prescriptions I have encountered here, specifically sleeping pills, hydrocodone pills, and Xanax pills.
But when a person says prescription drugs, is this something they can buy over the counter? They have to have a prescription for? What is your definition of prescription drug?
Prescription drugs definition is possibly prescribed drugs from a doctor that the parents have in a medicine cabinet that these students are taking and bringing them to school.
Let's just talk about each one of them individually, just real briefly. When we're speaking of a sleeping pills, what effects does it have on the body?
The sleeping pills make the student they become kind of lethargic, maybe appears to be out of it, unresponsive sometimes, definitely can see slurred speech, unsteady on the feet. So that's the signs you want to look for sleeping pills.
So do they normally take, when they take sleeping pills, do they take more than one? Do they take just one? Or how does that affect the body when you take multiple?
When you take multiple, you possibly go to the hospital for that, because those specifically for going to sleep and resting. I've seen individual students take one from my experience, and it messes them up pretty bad.
Okay. Let's jump down to hydrocodone. What is that?
Hydrocodone is a pain medication similar as Vicodin. Vicodin is the same thing, just generic for hydrocodone. The pain medication for hydrocodone is basically it's a type of medication that makes you very spaced out. Once again, you'll see the slurred speech, the unsteady on the feet, spaced out also. Now, this type of drug is very common in young people. These young people are experienced with this type of prescription drug.
What would a doctor prescribe hydrocodone for?
Pain medication such as back. Some kids have been in accidents, parents been in accidents, and they have maybe a broken arm for medication to maintain that, or any type of neck or back problem. So broken bones mainly is what those prescription drugs are prescribed for.
So this is probably something that would be in the medicine cabinet. So if you were talking to a parent, what would be your advice for a parent that had some, let's just say, hydrocodone prescribed to their student or to themselves for whatever type of accident? Would you say keep it locked up? What would be your advice for them?
Yeah, I would absolutely, Mr. Scurry. I would definitely keep the medicine cabinet locked up, or discard them when you get done with the medication. You can flush them down the toilet, or call your pharmacist, see what he or she can tell you how to discard these prescriptions. The problem is that these kids are finding extra prescription drugs, specifically hydrocodone, and they're taking them and they're selling them, and that's how we're having a problem with the hydrocodone.
And let's just say using hydrocodone, would this affect, say, for example, an older student compared to like a middle school student? How would that affect the difference?
I believe a younger student would probably affect them more than the older student. Now, once again, I failed to mention that the dentists are prescribing hydrocodone now for toothaches. So that's very common to get that from the dentist also. So you want to be aware of that also.
Okay. Let's go to the next drug. What about Xanax?
Xanax is an anxiety pill. It kind of calms you down a little bit. Some adults are taking those to keep their nerves down and to calm anxiety, and that's very, very common in the young people setting right now. That's very common. A slang word for Xanax is called handlebars, because the pill is kind of long. But you want to make sure you watch that. And also, these kids are cutting those Xanax pills in half. It's so powerful. So if you take a half a pill, it will have the same effect as the whole pill.
So what are the legal ramifications of each one of these different types of pills?
The legal ramification of that is that if you're caught on school campus, once again, it depends on what type of prescription drug you have. It can be considered a controlled substance, which is a felony in a drug-free zone. If it's a dangerous drug, it'll be a Class A misdemeanor. However, it enhances in the school system such a drug-free zone. Basically, it depends on what drug you get caught with.
Okay. And let's say, for example, let's say that a student was to take some of these pills and put them in like an unmarked bottle. How can you identify the different type of pills?
Well, we get on a website. We have access to a website that can identify each pill we encounter.
So if a parent wanted to and they found some of this in their student's backpack or whatever, could they go to the internet and look that up themselves to see what type of pill this was?
Absolutely. You can Google up the pills at the RX website, and they can look it up there.
Thank you very much, Officer Raven, for your interesting and enlightening presentation today.